the Big Apple. We've got some big games to talk about.
With big attitude.
With big attitude. We're at Central Park. Let's get started right now.
We think I'm an...
Yes, I do. Today on the show, Tom and I review Sonic Heroes, Maximo versus Army of Zin for the PlayStation 2, Midway's Arcade Treasures, and versus its NFL Street against NFL Blitz Pro. All right, first game we're going to talk about is Sonic Heroes, developed by Sonic Team for Sega. It's on the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the Xbox. We looked at this on the GameCube. What'd you think?
I'm a huge Sonic fan.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I'm old school Sonic man on the Genesis, but, you know, they're just letting this license go downhill.
I know, huh? Ever since they moved to 3D, they've had all kinds of problems with clipping polygons and cameras trying to keep up and things moving too fast. You can't control them. I mean, you got to maintain that sense of speed. That's what we want out of a Sonic game. But if you have to sacrifice all sense of stability and you're like, you can't rely on platforms actually existing that you're on and, you know, falling into water and clipping through and tearing through things, that is not fun. The problem is the Sonic always has been about lots of things to explore and retraversal, and if you find different retraversal, like you go back into things and like you retraverse. It's a word. Didn't the voiceovers on those cinematics and the gameplay just drive you insane though?
Hey, you guys, cheer up! You know we'll find them!
The cinematics are actually really cool.
Yeah, they look good. They look good.
Why isn't the game like that?
Well, I mean, they can't get that 3D down. They just can't deal with the 3D cameras and the positioning and the, you know, polygons not tearing and all that stuff. Basically, the game breaks down. You have three classes of characters. You have, like, the little flying creature, which can be Tails sometimes, or a Bumblebee. There's four different teams.
You have three
flyer
people
dudes
on your team, but each team contains three people.
That's
so
right. Well, they're not people. Well, they're little animals.
They're little cute animals.
They're little fuzzy little animals.
True.
So you have the little flying animal.
Yes.
Or you have the medium speedy guy, which would be Sonic, or Chaotix, or Dark Sonic, or whatever. And then you have the big lumbering powerful guy, which would be Knuckles in the Team Sonic, but then there's other progressive. There's the big cat with the fish thing and the robot. And you have them all sort of spread out. There's four teams, but basically every team handles exactly the same way.
Right.
And my question to Sega is, why do you keep throwing these stupid characters at us? We only want to play Sonic. Switching the characters, it's a pretty gimmicky thing, but it works quite well, and it is original. I've never played a game where I'm switching characters on the fly this fast.
There's probably a reason you've never done that.
Well, it's okay. I mean,
it's lame. You have to use these three different characters. You have to figure out which one. For example, if there's a tall place, you have to switch to the flying guy. If there's a place you have to bust through, you have to switch to the strong guy. Well, wait a second. You know, so you give me three lame characters to make one good one? But don't worry, fans of Sonic, because you get all your really cheesy 80s rock music in there. It's ridiculous.
It's suitable for the gameplay.
No, it's not.
But it really irritates Tommy. And Sega, if you're listening, you're just giving this guy like an aneurysm every time you make music like that. So
yeah, but they give me
careful.
Great material for the show.
That's true. What are you going to give this game?
4.5.
4.5. I'm going to give it 5.5. On the positive side, although switching between the three characters is gimmicky, it is also kind of fun. There's a great sense of speed in this game. And if you love all those cheesy Sonic 80s rock tunes and cheesy sound effects, they're in here too.
So go comb your mullet and get ready for a new Sonic game. On the negative side, the camera angles here are absolutely atrocious. The voiceovers are not that well done. And a lot of times the game takes control right out of your hands.
Now we're going to move from an update to a classic series to a collection of classic games. This is Midway Arcade Treasures. It's for the Xbox or PlayStation 2, developed by Digital Eclipse. Now, what did you think of this one?
This is a game that just blew my mind because they have so many games on this disc. You know, usually you get these, you know, arcade classics, or, you know, they put out 3, 4, maybe 5 games. This has got them all. I'm talking about Satan's Hollow, Sinistar, Joust, Defender,
Spy Hunter,
Smash TV, Spy Hunter, and
Road Blast.
Some games that I even forgot about, like Joust 2.
Right.
How about Rare was a great game.
Awesome puzzler.
Now, they also, for every game, they have added extra bits, like interviews with the creators.
Yes.
Some of the old style sheets.
Sometimes you have like the old arcade sort of cabinet art is all presented in there, and they have...
For the Xbox version,
yes,
you can go Xbox Live and upload all your scores and compete against people all over the world.
Tell them what you did.
And I want everyone.
All show for this.
I want people to go online. I want you to go to Satan's Hollow Extreme.
Right.
And see who the #2 player in the whole wide world is.
I wonder who that would be. One of the games that I was really excited to play again was Marble Madness, which was created by Mark Cerny, who went on to do stuff on Ratchet and Clank and the Jack series. Crash Bandicoot. And Marble Madness was his first game. He was like 2 years old when he made this game. Very young. Now, not all the games are great on this thing, though. I'm not a big fan of Root Beer Tapper.
Oh, Tapper! Are you kidding me?
Root Beer
Tapper! I totally forgot about Tapper. It's one of the best games on the disc.
That's a yawner for me.
Are you kidding me?
Android. You see what I'm saying? 720 wasn't cool either. I mean, it was
one of the best skateboarding games.
Right. We've all played Tony Hawk now, so that it's not fun to go back to that crap game.
Those videos, I was really interested in watching all the making of videos.
Unbelievably bad.
But the quality is so horrible. Like somebody set up their like VHS camcorder, and no lights.
Midway did a greatest hits collection or a bunch of collections on the PlayStation 1, and they just used the same video clips, which is a real drag, man. I mean, they could have easily gone back and shot interviews with these guys.
I will say that although most of the controls come across okay with the joystick, there's some of them that fall a little short, and unfortunately it was one of my favorite games, Spy Hunter.
Oh, that's difficult.
Spy Hunter is very difficult to control because they put the
Road Blasters is hard too.
Pedal on, any of the driving games, because they put the pedal on the analog stick, and it ruined it for me. I wish you could hook up a steering wheel.
What I will say is that any video game fan today owes it to themselves to go check this thing out, because this is the roots of this business, you know? If you're like in games now, you got to see where creativity sort of spawned this whole industry and got us going.
That's
incredible.
Right. Back then, it wasn't all about graphics. It wasn't all about sound. It was strictly about control and gameplay. And that's all these guys had to work with. So it forced them to be creative. And you play these games and you really kind of see that whole thing.
And the other thing you got to consider too is that you can get this disc for a discounted price. It's not that expensive. It's not the price of a regular game.
Unbelievable.
I mean, you have to get this one. 9.5 out of 10.
Wowzy!
What are you giving it?
9.5. Wow. I'm giving it an 8.
On the positive side, an incredible collection of great games from the 80s. A lot of cool historical information is included in the disc. And it's got a great price point.
On the negative side, although the making of videos are super cool, they look like they were recorded on somebody's webcam. And although the controls are great for most of the games, the driving games get a little too touchy.
Speaking of updates to classic games, stick around. After this, it's Maximo versus Army of Zin.